Usually, food security situation has deteriorated. Million people in 32 counties, all acute malnutrition. The job, and just on my right, we have shown the counties that are in of March to May long rains. For this acute malnutrition, this food insecurity, this looming turn down. In regard to $1 billion loss, we have seen the condition of the pasture, that there is increased enrollment in counties, water in schools, inability of parents to pay, and so on, have been recorded, and also increased livestock migration women. So the priority between March and May 2020 response, we have school fees subsidy in terms of agriculture, farm aid, wildlife for translocation of wildlife, manage the risk. And from this report,
so, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Deputy President of the first, allow me to give just...
The situation has worsened with 5.2 million people who have been in need, according to our numbers, of humanitarian assistance, and an estimated 9.839 thousand livestock affected by drought. Currently, from our data, we have 9 arid and semi-arid counties, namely Wajir, Kilifi, Mandera, Marsabit, Samburu, Turkana, Isiolo, Kitui, and Kajiado in alarm drought phase. And then we have 13 counties in alert drought phase. The impact of the drought has resulted in an accelerated increase in poverty levels, mostly in the arid and semi-arid areas, increase in food prices that has negatively impacted on poor households, access to food. The state of pasture and browse in most ASAL counties has remained very poor and below normal. The pasture and browse would not last long due to the high concentration of livestock in the grazing areas, and the livestock body condition ranges from poor to fair in most ASAL counties. Generally, the livestock body condition in most areas is below normal compared to similar periods during a normal year. So what has been our response? In the financial year 2021 and 2022, the county governments distributed aid relief to 2.7 million people. 1 million Kenyans were reached with water on water tracking services. 876,153 children were covered under nutrition intervention, and a total number of 5,280,654 livestock were vaccinated. The county governments continue to respond in the current financial year, which is this financial year 2022-2023. The county governments have had to allocate 7,878,363,301 to the drought response.
We recognize our current crisis as a devastating signal of steadily worsening climate crisis, which is chiefly caused by human activity and can also be managed through more responsible stewardship of our national heritage. By launching the National Presidential Reforestation Program aimed at planting 15 billion trees over the next decade, we have signaled the seriousness, magnitude, and ambition of our undertaking to rehabilitate the environment for the sake of life on Earth, not just in Kenya. As humanity, we stand to benefit immensely from ecological restoration and correction of Earth's vital systems. And this is not going to be an individual effort. It is going to be a collective assignment for all of us as humanity and from across the globe. For the people of Kenya, the commitment to do our part is absolute, and our government must therefore move decisively to actualize this aspiration. Pastoral livelihoods are largely devastated due to prolonged severe scarcity of water and pasture. Millions of animals, the mainstay of these communities' economy, have died, rendering families extremely vulnerable and unable to meet their needs without assistance. In response, the government has had to reorganize its budget at the expense of many other programs and projects in order to mobilize resources needed to cushion millions of Kenyans from the effects of this drought. As I told you last year, the trade-offs and hard choices forced on us by this emergency underscores its nature and magnitude and points us in the direction of highly plausible future trends and scenarios unless we engage in realistic changes to what we are doing. Since September 2021, the national government has spent more than 32 billion to cushion lives and livelihoods. This includes 4.9 billion which the government mobilized since September last year and allocated towards immediate life-saving interventions, and a further 1.4 billion dispersed as cash transfers under the Hunger Safety Net program. Our focus has been on relief, food distribution, emergency relief cash transfers, school feeding program, water-related interventions, and livestock offtake programs. And as I did commit, we are going to partner with our county governments, especially on the subject of school feeding program, because aside from enhancing our enrollment in schools, it is sometimes the only source of food in some communities. And therefore, we're going to enhance our budget this year from 2 billion shillings that was itemized for school feeding to 6 billion shillings, and we expect that our counties will match. We have undertaken that every county that is going to participate in this program, we're going to match shilling for shilling so that we can improve the nutrition in our schools and keep our children in class. The interventions under consideration for the medium term include diversification of activities and value chains, mitigation of dependence on rain-fed agriculture, construction of strategic water reservoirs, dams, ponds, and strengthening pastoral supply chains. I would really appreciate a lot of support in matters environment. I am very happy that there is a conversation in this room about supporting our Kenya Forest Service and KEFRI for us to walk the journey of greening our country as part of the efforts that we must make to deal with matters of climate change. We would be exploring opportunities on what partnership we can put together so that we can do more with our environment and do more, especially with our water harvesting efforts. In the budget, we are working on how to do more of the micro dams so that we can harvest the water when the rain comes. We are looking long-term at water harvesting efforts, working with the private sector, and I must congratulate the private sector for coming through to have a conversation with us on matters water harvesting, hopefully before May. I'm sure Engineer Gitonga, you will confirm, before May, we should be able to launch the first 3 or so dams under our new program of private-public partnership and water purchase agreement instruments. This way, we can begin the journey to find some long-term solutions in ensuring that we have water and we manage the effects of climate change. I must also say that for the long term, we are committed to undertake substantial interventions to mitigate and reverse the effects of climate change and restore the national forest and tree cover of our country. As you are aware, we are already working on the program that will see us plant 15 billion trees, including 1 million trees every year in the city of Nairobi. Since all of us live in this city, I think we should just allocate each and every one of us how many trees they are going to plant in the city of Nairobi as a ticket for living in this city.